Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Sports Today. Yet again, a special day. It's a special Monday where we ask you to come in, drop in, ask your questions. And not just that, you can also join us through the video if you click the link that we've tweeted. It's that simple. Now, before I start, I must wish all of you a very, very happy Women's Day. You guys are beautiful, go strong, and be more powerful. And with that, let's invite our expert here. But before we get there, let's quickly check out what Howzat has in store for us.
क्या आप भी किसी अपने सपने मेरे तुम्हारे टीम 11 पे टीम बना रहे हो और बच्चों के साथ खेल रहे हो? हमारे साथ खेलोगे? हाउज़ पे खेलो लेजेंड्स के साथ। हमें हराओ और जीतो डबल कैश। Log on to howzat.com and win real cash.
Awesome. With that, let's have our expert Deepdas Gupta join us here, and all of you can join us on the broadcast live. If you click the link which we've tweeted, and you can ask your questions. Good evening, sir. Wish you a very happy Women's Day to your life.
Thank you, and wishing you and everyone out there a very, very happy Women's Day.
Thank you very much. So we're back at it, and you know the drill. We're going to have plenty of questions, especially with the test that has just been concluded. Also, the T20I series starting. So I'm expecting a lot of questions coming in. But along with that, guys, let me quickly remind you: you can join us through the video call. So you can also just click on the link that we've tweeted. So not only can you ask your questions like regularly you do, but also you can join us through the video. All right, here comes the very first question, sir. We've got a very first question by Kamlesh Acharya, and he's asking, should India send team in two phases for the WTC final? First, they can send after league phase of IPL, and then after end of IPL. What do you think about it?
That's a good one. I mean, I won't say two phases, but someone like a Pujara, not too many of them actually. All of them, apart from Pujara, would be playing the IPL. But if there is someone who's available, as in for the knockout stages, for that matter, that's those people who are available can actually go there a little early, if possible, play a few games. For example, Hanuma. Hanuma, Pujara are the two names that come like top of my head right now. Can go and kind of acclimatize, or if possible, play some league games there. Things like that. I mean, my point is, even though Pujara is there with CSK and all that, if there are players available who are not playing the IPL, for example, like I said, knockout stages, there'll be some people who would be available by then. Those guys can leave a little earlier.
All right. We've got Lalit Mung asking, should India play both Rahul and Pant for the T20Is?
Yeah, why not? Why not? I think obviously you will play KL Rahul, the kind of white ball form that he's been in last 2-3 years. And then and then the kind of form that Rishabh's in. I mean, surely. And obviously the big question is, in whose place? That I will let you know. I guess we'll take a few more questions and I'll let you know my playing 11.
Yes, looking forward to that. All right, we've got Kshitiz Vyas asking, don't you think that India's number 3, 4, 5 should be consistent enough, especially in English conditions?
Yeah, I mean, I think Kshitij was there yesterday asking the same question, and I think he's got a very valid point. 3, 4, 5 hasn't in the last couple of series at least been as consistent as they usually are, and we are talking about, and I'm sure he's talking about the test matches. So obviously we are talking about 3 very experienced, very good players here, which is Pujara, Virat, and Ajinkya. I'm sure even if you ask them, they would definitely like to score more runs than what they have in the last few series. So yes, I'm sure they'll be looking into it themselves, because we are looking at people who've played 80 test matches, 90 and 60 plus test matches here. So with all that experience, I'm sure they would be looking into it, how they can improve and be more consistent.
Right. All right. We have our first audience here who's going to join us through the video call. We've got Ray PMB9, and he'll join us soon. And here he is.
Hello, sir.
All right, Ray PMB9. Show us your face.
Nice.
There
Go on, Ray.
Hi, sir. So my question is, why is like our team not able to produce like quick fast bowlers, which are 145 kilometer plus,
Hmm.
really quick fast bowlers?
Thanks,
That's
Ray.
my first question.
Thanks, Ray. Yeah. So for me, I think we have fast bowlers. If you look at someone like Shami, he cranks it up to 140 plus. Obviously, Bumrah cranks it up. Ishant on his day cranks it up. So yeah, I mean, I won't say. I mean, if you want to, if you're talking about out and out fast paced bowlers, and if you think about it, maybe there aren't too many. Like let's say someone like a Mitchell Stark, or earlier on used to be Brett Lee, Shoaib, all these guys. But I think we have people who are consistently bowl on an average 140 clicks an hour. But if you look at world over, there aren't too many people who are actually bowling 150. I mean, like I said, there was a time and there was Johnson, Stark, Dale Steyn, uh, and someone like Shoaib and Brett Lee and all these guys. But yeah, I guess we good enough. I think we've got not just pace, we've got a lot of skillful bowlers as well. And this next generation, you will see faster bowlers because this whole concept, because we have to understand that earlier on, the concept of a fast bowler, or like most of us, we follow a role model, an icon, right? So our icons have been batsmen, spinners, and Kapil Paji, who wasn't an out and out quick bowler; he's a swing bowler, right? So slowly that trend is changing. The new generation wants to bowl fast. They've grown up on watching someone like an Umesh or an Nishant trying to bowl fast and stuff like that. And also there is this. I mean, so the mindset is changing. So the next generation, you'll see guys trying to bowl faster.
Nice. Okay, we've got Aryan here. He suggests something very interesting. What do you think about opening with Pant in T20s? As he will provide a lot of flexibility in our rigid top four. With his 360 style of batting, he can utilize the power play as we already have finishers. That's
Right.
the point.
Right. So, Aryan, I don't know whether we have finishers. If to be honest, I mean, we actually in T20, Hardik is there. Rishabh, obviously, yes. So, for me, I think he's better suited to bat at four. That 4-5 place. You have him and Hardik at at 5-6 or 4-5 or something like that. Because top order, you have Rohit, you have KL Rahul. Mayank has done really well in the IPL last year. You also have Shikhar Dhawan. So there are enough people for that opening slot. If you look at 5, 6, 7, we really don't have too many players who can finish games, come and bat at 4, 5, 6 in T20 because everyone wants to bat top of the order. So when you have someone like Rishabh with that kind of skill set, I think it just makes sense that we go with we make him a specialist there.
Nice. Okay, so we've got Mohit Singh. I hope that answers your question, Arjun. We've got Mohit Singh asking, should India pack their WTC playing 11 with all-rounders like Jadeja, Shardul, Hardik, and Sundar?
No, I think it does not make sense. You pick your best four bowlers. Ideally, pick an all-rounder, two all-rounders, which includes the wicket keeper, and your best six batsmen. So for me, that's how it should be. And obviously, when you're talking about four best bowlers, that would include obviously a spinner and fast bowler. The combination will depend on the pitch. Uh, but it does not make sense picking up people just because they bat better. I mean, or they bowl better and pick them up as a batsman because they bowl better, or pick them up as a bowler because they bat better. Definitely not in Test match cricket. I think Test match cricket, especially, and even in white ball cricket as well. Yes, the role of an all rounder is very important, but let's not force it. Okay, if there are quality all rounders, then definitely yes. But then I will not pick a bowler just because he bats better than the others, unless he's definitely the better bowler as well. So if Shardul Thakur is bowling better than another bowler who's just a bowler, can't contribute as much with the bat as Shardul can, then maybe I'll think it over. But not just because Shardul can bat better than the others, I will pick him as a bowler.
Okay. All right, we've got Naman joining us. So Naman is joining us through the video call, and here Naman
Hi,
is.
Shed. Hi, ma'am.
Hello,
Hi.
Naman.
Sir,
Hi, Naman.
sir, I have two questions. First, that with Shikhar, Rahul, and KL, both three are in the squad. What is your ideal opening combination? And second one, Rishabh Pant, due to current form, do you think that the team management will play him as an wicket keeping option in 2020 or will go as KL Rahul till 2023 World Cup?
Mm. See, listen, for me, I think if Rishabh is playing, he might as well take the gloves. Is what I think. So if for me, I think Rishabh should be there in the playing 11. And like I said, if he's playing in the playing 11, then obviously he takes the gloves. And KL is a very good fielder as well. He's a very very good fielder, and you don't want to kind of put that kind of pressure on him if not required. So KL Rahul that way, and that's the tricky question you asked. You asked about two out of those three. Well, I think I'm going to go with Rohit and KL, to be honest.
Nice. All right, Naman. All good questions right there, and thank you so much for joining in right there. Let's take a quick look at all the questions that we have. We've got so many comment sections. So first of all, I'd like to thank all of you for joining in. And we are going to go ahead with Shubman Chaudhary saying, what will be your playing 11 in T20 upcoming series? So you might be your playing 11 because there are going to be a lot of questions around it. So give it
Yeah.
us.
Okay. So I was just looking at it, and the okay. So KL, Rohit, Virat at 3. This is the important one, right? So I've got Sky at 4, as in Surya Kumar Yadav at 4, Rishabh at 5, Hardik at 6, Washington at 7, Chahar at 8, Navdeep 9, Chahal at 10, and 11. 11 is we'll pick a fast bowler. Whoever there is, Bumrah is obviously not there. I'm not too sure is Shami back for T20, but yeah, one of the fast bowlers.
Nice. So that is his sir's playing 11. So now you know the combinations that he's playing with. Very quickly, sir, another question we've got. Siddhant Pania saying, hello, Deep sir. Do you think change of venues at WTC will be a disadvantage for India, seeing India's record at Lords?
I wouldn't say so. I know what you mean by that, but the other important thing is, if it's in England and if it's not north of England, where it generally tends to be cooler, and the seamers have a little more help as compared to south of England. If it's somewhere in the south, I don't think that should be a problem. I think even if it's, and we're talking about June, so June it's kind of warmish, you know. So yeah, I mean, south of England, like Southampton or somewhere like that, and if it's not in Headingley, or Manchester or something, I think otherwise it should be fine.
All right. So to follow up that, Mohit Singh is asking, what's the pitch like in Southampton? Could you give us an idea?
Southampton is more batting friendly as compared to north of England, and also because it's warmer in south, the ball doesn't tend to swing as much as it does north of England. So the norther you go, so let's say Leicester is a very good batting track. So anything north of Leicester, like Birmingham or Leeds and Manchester, I think Nottingham, I think those help the seamers a little more, and New Zealand would be more at home with those conditions as compared to Southampton, which would be a little more neutral, or rather south of England. That would be a little more neutral. Pitches, like I said, because it's dry, so it won't be as seamer friendly as north of England is.
Interesting. We've got Siva Parasu asking, if Hardik is bowling, sir, will you play Jadeja or Ashwin in the final?
That's a very good one. If Hardik is bowling, it's and you think about it, it's a little unfortunate, isn't it? I mean, Aksar has done so well, but unfortunately, when Jadeja comes, I think Jadeja will come in. Again, depending on the conditions, I think the way India's shaping up, I won't mind both Jadeja and Ashwin. And because Ashwin, if you see the last couple of series away from home as well, he's been bowling well. The only issue has been he hasn't really finished all the series. He's been injured. halfway through or whatever has missed a test match here and there because of injury. But as far as bowling is concerned, Ashwin's been bowling very well, even outside India. But yeah, I mean, it'll be an interesting one if Hardik is bowling like he was before he got injured. Then certainly there'll be a big debate or kind of an headache for the team management. Do you pick two spinners or do you pick one spinner and one fast bowler? Again, the conditions again will be very, very important for that.
Yes. I think at the moment, the Indian team has a lot of champagne problems because of the number of food options they have. And that's a beautiful problem to deal with, honestly. Like you very rightly mentioned that it is a tad bit unfortunate for Akshay. But having said that, he's done so well that honestly, it's fortunate that there is a discussion like that happening. Anyway, we've got another question. We got Vikram Gar asking, what do you think of Natarajan in English conditions in test matches? As last time, it was Sam Curran who troubled us a lot.
Yeah, but I would like to see Natarajan play a lot more domestic red ball cricket, because even though he did his bit in Australia in the test matches, but I think we have better bowlers than him. I know he's a left arm seamer and there is a premium, and suddenly you see, and he's a great story. I know how every one of us feel when we talk about Natarajan because of the whole story, the background. I mean, it's a complete package. But let's not confuse that with quality, right? So we have to take away those colored glasses and look at it unbiasedly as whoever is the better bowler goes and plays. And I think at this point in time, we have better red ball bowlers than Natarajan. Okay, sorry. T20, the bowler I was talking about would be Natarajan. Sorry. Yeah, I missed out on that. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we've got Shiraj S asking, word on Particle's form.
Particle, I mean, yes. Listen, Particle again is, for me, he's potentially all three format player. Definitely white ball. There's no two ways about it. But even red ball, I've seen a bit of him in red ball cricket, and yeah, I mean, and he's looked very comfortable. It's just that he hasn't. I've seen him, getting those 30s and 40s. He just needs to work on that. But when you look at him as a talent, as a potential, I think that's wonderful. I think that's somebody that we need to invest in, because he has that potential. He's a special talent.
Yep. Proved it enough. We've got Sachin Chaudhary asking, what is your opinion on the IPL schedule?
That's very interesting, isn't it? And it is so interesting. And so you actually break up the 50 days into 3 phases. So phase 1, phase 2, and then the knockout phase. And that's very interesting. And the fact that Mumbai will not play in Mumbai. So Mumbai will be playing the first phase in Chennai, which is going to be a turner. And same with Chennai, who prefers turner, would be playing in Mumbai on those Wankhede, dew-affected games, small ground. And so it's going to be extremely interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how teams can pivot and change their basic game plan to kind of suit the surfaces they'll play on.
Nice. It was also interesting to read that none of the teams actually play on their home ground. None of the teams. Is that
none of them? Yeah, that's right. I mean, none of the teams are going to play. So the first phase, Chennai and Mumbai. So Mumbai will be stationed in Chennai, and Chennai will be stationed in Mumbai.
Talking about a twist in this story, we've got the next question. We've got Aryan Bansal asking, why Dusrab ball is not bowled now by the spinners?
Right, Aryan, good question. The thing is, they've figured out biomechanically it is not possible to bowl the Dusra. So I don't have a ball here, but I'll tell you this. The Dusra comes like leg spinners. They bowl the googly back of the hand. Same with the Dusra. It comes from the back of the hand. You release like that and the Dusra comes out like that, right? So they've figured out biomechanically it is not possible to bowl the Dusra without flexing your elbow. And you have to flex your elbow more than 15 degrees. 15 degrees is the maximum limit that you can flex your elbows. But biomechanically, they've figured out that you have to bend your elbow more than 15 degrees to bowl the Dusra. So that's the reason it's not legal anymore to bowl the dusra, and that's the reason we don't see off spinners bowling the dusra.
Oh, nice. Okay. We've got Nofik Zak asking, though you've already given us your playing 11, sir. He's asking, should Ashwin get a chance in T20s considering his form?
Uh, you have Washington Sundar. I'm not saying never say never, and especially people like, I mean, talents or performers like Ashwin. But at this point in time, I would actually prefer someone like a Washington and Chahel as my two spinners and stuff. To you know that's how I will prefer. But yeah, I mean, never say never as far as again Ashwin is concerned, because he's not just a finger spinner. He's variations. He's got so many variations. The other day, was a day before the last day in the morning. I saw he was actually trying to bowl leg spin, like proper leg spin, not the carom ball, but leg spin. So and he's bowled that before. He's bowled that before in IPL. He's bowled leg spin before. So yeah, it'll be interesting. So yeah, why not? Why not in the future? Yeah.
All right, we've got Abhinav Verma asking, do you think that Saha will again be included in the test squad of India for England to?
Yeah, I think should be. I think when you're traveling abroad, you should have two wicket keepers. I think Riddhiman Saha that way hasn't done much wrong. It's just that Rishabh's been in glorious form. It's not really that Riddhiman has done something wrong. It's just that Rishabh's just taken everyone by storm this whole stage. So yeah, I think England, you need to take two keepers, and especially when you're talking about the whole England series, which is what 2.5 months or something like that, with 5 test matches and WTC. So I'd say yes, Riddhiman definitely.
Okay. Arpan is asking, sir, what about Shubman Gill's flaw? Are you concerned, or are you sure that he improved before the WTC somehow? I think he meant form.
Yeah, I think Shubman Gill will figure it out, but you've got to understand this. Okay, I was trying to talk about this during commentary stints. Okay, in Australia, his first series, how did he get out? He got out to Pat Cummins bowling those outswingers. So what did he do? He started coming a little across, right, to kind of counter the outswing, and he did all right. So now in this series, while he was coming across, the English started bowling in swingers. So this series, he's been in trouble facing the in swingers. He's got out leg before leaving a ball. He's got bowled to an in swinger. He's got leg before a few times to the ball coming in. So now just think about this as a youngster. All right, you've made adjustments to kind of counter a certain kind of deliveries, and that adjustment is now for a different series has gone against you. So I listen. These are all learning. This is part of the learning curve for someone as young as Shubman Gill. I hope and I'm sure he's learned his lesson, and he should be ready for the WTC. There's a lot of cricket that he will play before WTC. He'll play T20 and stuff like that. Hopefully, he will get runs in IPL. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be back. But these are part of a cricketer's or a sports person's life, ups and downs and stuff like that, and learning from your downs. I think he should be fine.
Yep. With that, we've got Mustafa joining us on the broadcast live. Hello. Good evening.
Hi, Mustafa.
Good evening. How are you, Riddhima? How are you, Deep sir? How are you guys doing?
Very good, very good. How are you doing, Mustafa?
Thank you so much. I'm doing well. I actually had a question regarding wicket keeping in different formats, Deep sir, because now Rishabh Pant will be going from the Test format to the T20 format. Not the batting, but the actual wicket keeping. How would you approach it as a wicket keeper between both the formats?
See, as a keeper, it does not change much because you still have the same basics to go with, right? It's not like batting where you have to be a little more proactive, a little more attacking. But as far as keeping is concerned, the only change is you got to be a little more agile because those singles that people drop and take singles and stuff like that, direct hits, those things, I guess. But in terms of keeping, not much changes from a keeper's point of view. Obviously, from a batting point of view, few things change. You might change your technique a little bit, your mindset a little bit, but from a keeping perspective, nothing much changes. Except, like I said, those singles, you want to stop those singles being taken.
All right. Thank you so much, Mustafa, for joining in. With that, we also have Piyush Patel joining us on the video. Plenty of video callers today. So now you guys have learned the game. It's very simple. Just follow us on Twitter and you'll know exactly what to do. We've got Piyush Patel joining us. Hello, Piyush. All right.
Hello, Deep sir. Hello, Ridhima.
Hi,
Hi,
Piyush.
Piyush.
Hi. My question is related to World Test Championship final. What would be the team selection for? I mean, in team 18 or 20, whatever squad we choose. Because we have at the moment we have so many players injured or out of the team, like Vihari, Jadeja, Sami, Bhuvi, Bumrah. So who will go out and who will come in?
Yeah,
Because
that's
it's
the WTC. Listen, the WTC is a good 2 months from now, so we'll have to wait and see. There is an IPL before that. We might have fresh, hopefully not, but we might have fresh injury issues with some players. So I think it's 2.5 months from now. So we just we just have to wait and watch how things pan out. So I think we just wait for the WTC finals. As of now, I think we need to focus on the white ball series, the T20I and the ODIs, and then obviously the IPL will come. Because again, it's not that okay. The test players, people who play only test match cricket, they might not be playing a lot of cricket, and they are very few. But most of the others, they have to play a lot of cricket from here till the WTC finals.
Super. I hope that answers your question, Piyush Ji. And every viewer who's joined us from UK, thank you so much for all the love, guys. We've got
Yeah.
Viraj next. We've got Viraj joining
Hello,
us.
sir. Hello,
Hi,
sir.
Viraj.
Good evening. I have a question that considering biobubble fatigue, do you think Devdutt Padikkal can play ODI series?
I mean, he can, but before that, you have Mayank Agarwal in that squad who hasn't got an opportunity as yet. You have Prithvi, who was there, part of the ODIs in New Zealand. So yeah, I mean, if you have this from that perspective, if you think about it, there are people. Let's listen. We are all very excited to see Devdutt Padikkal doing so well. We all know he's a great talent, but we just have to wait and let their time come as well, because we've at times we kind of rush people into it. So if his time will come, his time will definitely come, because there are other people who are ahead of him at this point in time. So let's just wait and watch how his career goes. And Padikkal, mind you, last IPL was his first IPL season, a big, as in a proper IPL season. This year also, hopefully he'll have a great IPL like last time.
Fingers crossed. Thank you so much, Viraj. Aryan Bansal joins us on the broadcast live in a couple of seconds. What's up, Aryan?
Hello, Deep sir and Ridhima ma'am.
Hi, Aryan.
Thanks for taking my question earlier. You have taken the Dusra question, my Dusra ball question you had taken. So my question is, we haven't seen Maxwell and Jamieson performing in the Australia versus New Zealand series. So what are the chances that they will be performing in the IPL better? Is there any chance for them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Aryan. It's very difficult to say whether they will or won't. Well, Maxwell, we have some kind of a track record. Maxwell in the IPL, apart from that one year, or rather 2014, those 6-7 games in UAE, he hasn't really done much in the IPL, unfortunately. I mean, the kind of talent that he is, he actually hasn't. Jamieson, it's too early. I mean, it's too early in the sense we don't know. We haven't seen him in the subcontinental conditions, but we know that he's a great talent. He's quick. He can hit a long ball. He can bat at number 7, 8. So yeah, I mean, it'll be difficult to judge as of now. As far as Maxwell, I mean, listen, he's an enigma. I mean, every year he goes to a new franchise and say, okay, this is the year Maxwell do well. Okay, this year the IPL is in the UAE. He's done so well in the UAE last year. We were like, this is going to be Maxwell's year. But again, unfortunately, he has not delivered really in the IPL. So he's kind of an enigma. Again, this year, maybe RCB will suit him the way RCB is as a franchise. Maybe that will suit him. But yeah, I mean, but I will not be, as far as Jamieson is concerned, I will not be jumping onto conclusions so early. One good series, one off series, things happen. In a career, up and down happen. But he's got the basic ingredients to be successful. Let's put it this way.
Yeah. All right, very quickly, we've got two more questions going for this show because we've already hit the 30-minute mark. But I've had a fantastic time because there's so many video questions. We've got Ankit Barlota asking what happens to Shikhar Dhawan in white ball cricket.
Well, he's part of the T20Is, obviously ODIs as well. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. I think ODI he should. I think he did all right. The ODI and also, I mean, his numbers in ODI is not that bad, and especially when we're talking about ICC events, it's fabulous, his numbers. So yes, but as far as T20 is concerned, listen, now that Rohit is back, obviously you'll go with Rohit and KL Rahul, the kind of form that KL Rahul's been in last quite a few years now. So as far as white ball cricket is concerned, I'd say straight away in ODIs, but T20 I'd go with KL and Rohit.
Right, and the last question of the day is by Chatil Mayanath, and he's asking thoughts on Vanindu Hazaranga and if he's good enough for IPL.
He is. He is. I tell you what, the tricky part is it's very difficult to figure out who will fit in, because Hasranga, the oppositions that he's played against, they're good oppositions on kind of helpful tracks, which you would find in India as well. I mean, subcontinental tracks. So yeah, there is no reason why it shouldn't be. See, the biggest problem that happens in IPL especially is the fact that you are allowed only 4 overseas. And then that becomes and then you're looking at you're looking at a spinner or whatever, then you look at whether you have Indian substitute for that or not. So if you have Indian substitute for that, then you generally try and go with the Indian, even if the Indian substitute might not be at par with the overseas. So you generally, when you're looking at overseas players, you're looking at 4 people or 4 players, overseas players who are match winners, who can win you games. So if you're asking me from that perspective, is he good enough or will he games in the IPL? I don't know as yet, but is he good enough to generally play in IPL? Yeah, sure he is.
All right. That's Chatil Manath, and I hope that answers your questions. And with that, thank you so much, sir. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us, and I hope every viewer has. And this is really, really good to see so many video calls. Everybody's getting a hang of it. So thank you so much for your time also, Deep sir. Thank you.
No, thank you. And thank you for everyone for tuning in and asking those questions. I mean, it's always wonderful to interact, and today was no different.
Perfect. With that,
thank you, Ridhima. Thank you to you again. And happy Women's Day.
Thank you so much. Anytime. Also, I'd like to take this moment to wish the superstar of sports today, Boria Majumdar, a very, very happy birthday.
Right.
Yes. It's magic. He's not right now with us, but I'm sure you guys follow the 5 at 5 with Boria. So here's wishing you a very, very happy birthday. Also, if you guys want to wish him, you can go on the Sports Today channel and, of course, tweet to him and he will reply. All right. With that, thank you so much, everybody, for your time. I hope you guys are liking our hashtag Ask Sports Today section, and feel free to give us any feedback that you have on Twitter, Instagram. You're there on Instagram. Also, if you want to say give us any feedback in the comments in the live sections, we are more than open to it. So thank you for your time, and tune in for something similar very soon. See you. Bye-bye. Take care.